Hello everybody, it's me Paddy from across the Shuck, and this is a bit of an impromptu video. I'd said last night, I was talking to one of the mates on the phone, that I was going to do a video today on my um, storage and knife maintenance, because one of my subscribers asked me a couple of weeks and I just haven't got around to it, so I thought today's a good day. And then I get up and find somebody else has put one up on YouTube today. But that's the whole nice thing about YouTube. His is completely different than mine, and it'll not be at all similar. So we'll look forward to it. Well, I look forward to it anyway. I love doing things that subscribers have asked. I love, people asking the things all the time to do things. So it's nice just to fulfill things that the people who support you want to find out. So that down there is my beautiful little dog Bonnie. She's a wee rescue dog. We've had her about 2 years. She's 9 year old, but she's an absolute angel, and she just follows me. She's literally just followed me in here, and that's her wee bed. That's where she sleeps at night time. So what I'll do is, if my wife's just left, by the way, otherwise I would not be doing this in the bedroom. So that's my wardrobe over there with all the junk on the top of it. Most of it's bushcraft gear. There's a blow up mattress. There's a fire. There's all sorts. But what I'm going to do is show you where I keep my knives, and we'll take you through now. The only thing I've done, I'll say, I brought this wee box in from the front room. You'll see later what's in that wee box, and that's my new multi-tool, which should be on my hip, but I can't be bothered. I'm in the house today, so I'm not going out. But it sits in the front room of the wee box. This is my wardrobe. I get one wardrobe. My wife has a whole room next door and a big wardrobe in here. So there we go. Them two boxes is my knife storage, and on top of them you'll see that's on my bushcraft gear and heavier knives that I keep on top of it. So what I'll do now is I'm going to switch you off, and I'll bring that out down onto the bed, and we'll go through what I've got. I'll open it up and go through what I've got. Okay, back in a second. Now, I don't know how this is going to do because I'm doing this old school handheld. Right, on top of the box here, I have my measuring devices at the back. I have the likes of my heavy big buck knife. I have my new karambit. I use, much like I used to do an awful lot of bushcrafting. And these would have been my bushcrafting main tools, which I didn't take a hatchet with me, because I don't chop down trees. I use dead branches if I'm going to do it. I build fires constantly when I'm out. I don't really like using the gas ones, so I mean I do use them. Don't get me wrong, but this I use for just breaking up kindling. I don't need anything else. I have a wee handsaw as well that I take with me, which is all I need. I have my trusty Mora bushcraft knife with a fire starter attached to it, and I also have a carving knife because I whittle when I'm out. So that's and this, sorry, this is my fishing knife. This is when I was a fly fisherman, so that was for gutting my trout, because I only ever kept what I was going to eat. So at the side of the river it would have got gutted in it. So let's move across the top drawer over there, and what I have in the bottom is them non-slip mats. And this is all my smaller knives, my sort of medium-sized knives, as I would call them. And I'm not going to go through all them. You've seen most of them in videos. There's another carving knife. I have a Mora for doing the likes of spoons and things like that. And that's a small. And over here is all my major blades, if you like. I'll get you a wee bit closer. This is just one of the new ones I got. And what else? There's another new one in here that I got. Oh yes, this one here, the other new one I got. That was from one of my subscribers, young David Piper, and they're now in the box here, the ones that I didn't have. So it's really simple. I mean, that's all I've got. There's plenty more room over here. If I need to add more knives, I can just move these up. A lot of them I can take out and put into a smaller box, because to be honest with you, a lot of these I don't use that much anymore. So that's it. That's what's in the box. That's where it came from. And what I will show you now is, sorry, that's my little multi-tool. I know this isn't great photography, but let me see. Let me get over here and I'll show you this. In this little box is where I keep all my secondary knives, as you hear me going on about. This is my collection of all little small knives that I'll just throw in my pocket or throw in the wee pouches Sally makes for me, Sally being my wife. And it's in, I got this lovely wee box at a flea market for £1, I think it was, or £1.50. And it's being an old sailor, it's a lovely old box with the ships and anchors on it. So that is my full collection of knives so far, and it's still growing, which is great. I've done that a whole lot of times. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it off, and then what I'll do is I'll go into the front room and I shall show you where I keep. I have little pouches. These all sit by my table. So I'll show you the little pouches I have in there. I have where I do my daily sharpening, my top-up sharpening at the end of the night, the stuff I keep there. And I'll also lay out the stuff that I'll use for proper sharpening. So I'll do that, and we'll get back to you. The next time you'll see me will be in the front room. Right, folks, now we're in my front room, and I'll show you what I keep in here. And where I keep the stuff is, one of the boxes sits on that. There's my wee box. That's where it sits with the small knives. There's a larger box, which I'll show you in a minute, sits there. And then underneath there, where you can see them papers, is where my big box and all my, what do we call them? Accoutrements, shall we? So we say accoutrements for knife sharpening, playing with my knives, my tools. It all sits there so that I don't have to stretch off my seat, which is well used, as you can see by the arm. There's my iPad on its wee stand. So this is what goes down there. This little brown box sits on top of the table. My spinner's there and my glass cleaner. But in here I have, this is what I call my daily blades. Daily blade sharpeners. So at the end of each day, these are Spyderco rods. I'll usually, if I've used the knife a lot, I'll take them out, I'll give it a quick going over on them, and then I'll strop them. There's also, this is my wee strop for taking out if I'm going out for a day. It's I've showed that before on one of my videos. It's what did they call them? Forgotten the name of it. But anyway, it's a stone, a piece of leather, and a piece of wet and dry paper that I take out with me just in case I need to sharpen. So there's that in that drawer. Let's go up. I'm not doing this very well. You'll have to just put up with this. Really was impromptu. This is my bag where I have little made up pouches that my wife kindly done for me. Spare lighters as normal, another spare tool. But I keep these wee pouches just topped up with the knives and flashlights and whatever I'm going to take out for that day. I'll keep that, so just lift that depending on what trousers I've got. Put that in there, and the bottom one you don't really want to see because it's just bits and pieces. It's USB, a ruler, spare batteries, pads, plasters, which I do need by my seat quite often because I cut myself. In this other box, I'm trying to get these into the light for you, it's not great. In here is this is my kit for my lube oil, my syringes that I use, my blue thread lock. That's just oil. This is what I use to put, this is a great wee thing. It's got the wee needle end on it for lubing up. And I keep a spare pair of gloves there, some pads, and a wee tin that I put a magnet on the bottom of it, and you can see a pair of scissors stuck to it. And I use that for all my screws. When I undo the screws, when I'm taking a knife apart, I throw them in there, and with the magnet, and even if I knocked it on the floor, the screws would stay in it, which is handy enough. It's another wee screwdriver. I don't know whether this is interesting at all to anybody, but I'm sure we all have it. This is another box of just, this I've done a review on. This is the Hex, and well, it's all accessories. It's a great little toolkit. £8 delivered from Gearbest. Absolutely, I use it all the time. But in there I've got screwdrivers, snips, bigger screwdrivers. I've got bits and pieces for knives, blow air, glass cleaner, bits of tape. So, and then at the end of the day, once I do the sharpening with my tools, this is my good strop, which sits by my seat. I think it's a Shark make. I love it. I use Smurf poo, which is in that box there. I put it on that, and then I'll strop my knives at the end of the night if I don't have to sharpen them, or after I've sharpened them. And the obligatory little cloth that goes there, that sits on top of it. And then for when you've done your knife, you need the Yellow Pages phone book to check that it's sharp enough. And I constantly do. I get paranoid about checking that my knife's sharp enough in case somebody would come in and ask, right, let's see your knife. No, I can't imagine why somebody would want to do that. But I think being a knife collector, I take pride in the fact that all my knives are sharp. I can take any knife out. There's today's daily carry. I can take that out and I know that it's sharp. And to be honest, I'm not going to do it because I'm doing this one-handed and I couldn't do that. I'm not that good. So that's my sort of stuff that sits all around me in the front room, that I can do most things without having to leave my armchair, which is the perfect way to do it. Now I'm going to show you, this is my main sharpening stuff. A lot of these, 1, 2, 3, and there's there's 1, 2, 3, and did he give me another one? I think there's another one somewhere. These were the stones that were given to me by David Piper, and I had these couple on my own. So I've started using them, and I love sharpening by hand, as you've heard me say. That's my Spyderco box. To be honest with you, the Lansky was the first thing I ever bought for sharpening, and it was good up to a point, but you can't read profile, you can't, I don't know, it was all right, and it's handy to have. If I was going camping, I might even throw it in, but to be honest with you, I don't think so. Now I've learned enough craft that I can take other things. That's the Spyderco. That was £60 that if I had to do the same again, I wouldn't spend it, to be honest with you, because it's not that much better than the Lansky. The triangles are a wee bit better for if you've got a curved blade, but that's about it. This is just a 400 1000 diamond sharpener that I paid £8 for on, I can't remember, I think it was GearBest as well. So that's it, and there's my little bottle with my mixture up for putting, that's my oil, water and fairy liquid, washing up liquid as you'd call it. And that's what I use, and this is where I do all my sharpening. You'll see my sharpening videos. Where that bin is, I have a tripod, sits up there and shows my sharpening. So, I'm sorry, I know this was a bit of a higgledy-piggledy video. And sometimes that's the way my life is. But everything sort of sits around there. I have a little storage space. You'll see the drawer open there. That's where I keep all my stones in there out of the way. And it's very basic, but again, I sit at that chair and I'll talk to my friends on YouTube. I'll sharpen, I'll strop, I'll do everything while I'm usually talking to them or while I'm watching YouTube. And all these little boxes, I know where everything else is in them. It does my wife's head in, same as my wardrobe, but sure, it keeps her, it gives her something to shout at. If it's not me, it'll be one of the grandkids who'll get it. So look, thank you very much. I know it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, but that's it. That's where I store all my stuff, and that's the equipment I've got to keep it up to scratch. Some of the new stones I haven't used yet, and I'm really looking forward to them because some of them get really high grits, and I want to see what sort of a mirror finish I can get with them. So that'll be an up and coming video, and we shall see you shortly. Take care. All the very best. Paddy's out. Bye.